sounds like we got a little bit of a tropical storm coming our way, coming up into the northeast. Sounds like it's going to be tomorrow night into Thursday. So plan your days accordingly. Get those showings in while you can. But just a little old storm, no big deal. All right, let's jump to our video, guys, and let's check this out. A little shift from our normal video, a little more heartfelt today. And can you imagine a world if we all treated everybody, went out of our way to treat everybody the way this community did to this person? I'm sure it's coming. Wow. Wow, very cool. A lot easier to follow up after a silly, stupid, funny video. That was pretty amazing. A world without barriers. Let's imagine that, right, guys? Samsung, cool company. That was pretty cool. All right, Tammy Tuesday. I can't wait to hear what Tammy has to say today.
Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. So today I want to talk to you guys about mortgage insurance, but there's a lot of new people on here. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Tammy Cranage. I'm a lender with Loan Depot. I've been in the business since 2002. So I survived a market crash, survived a few turns in the market, and I'm super excited to be a seasoned loan officer in this phenomenal market that we're in now. Today, I want to talk to you guys about mortgage insurance. Mortgage insurance has a very bad reputation. And back in the day, pre-2010, we used to give a lot of loans to people and not give mortgage insurance. So mortgage insurance is insurance that protects the bank, not the borrower. It protects the bank, that portion, that 20% equity, it's protecting the bank's interest in the property, because back in the day, when properties were being foreclosed on, the banks lost a lot of money. And it's because they didn't have mortgage insurance to protect their interest. So that fee is now passed down to our buyer. Now mortgage insurance is calculated. There are several different mortgage insurance companies, and lenders, the good ones anyway, will shop your mortgage insurance similar to shopping interest rates. It's based on the type of property. So is it a condo, a single family, or a multifamily? What is the down payment? The mortgage insurance factor is going to be better if they're putting 10% down versus say 5% down. What is the credit score of the borrower? Obviously, the lower the credit score, the higher the mortgage insurance factor. Now, it's not the devil it used to be. Mortgage insurance guidelines have lightened up a lot. The minimum credit score requirement is a 620, and there are 3 ways to pay for it. So the first way is monthly, which is what most people are familiar with. That actually has a long-term gain. So if you're going to be in the house for a long period of time, the monthly mortgage insurance might be more beneficial. You can also finance the mortgage insurance. That's more for your short term. If you're going to be in the house maybe less than 5 years, you might want to finance the mortgage insurance. And then the third option, not as popular right now, but it's called lender paid MI, meaning that you take a higher interest rate. Now, which one is better? It really depends on the situation. I have seen situations where the lender paid one at a 4.5 interest rate is actually better than the lower interest rate. So it really depends. And then let's not forget about FHA. FHA is taking a huge hit right now because people think it's going to take longer, the appraisers are stricter, but FHA is not credit score driven, which means the mortgage insurance is the same for the person with a 620 as it is for the person with a 700. There's lots of reasons that someone would want an FHA loan, not just because of the credit score. So how do you know which one is the best? Because when you work with me, I will prepare a total cost analysis for your buyers and for you to see, so you can look side by side and determine the long and short-term benefit of these products. Now, I don't tell you guys all this detail so you can write it down and remember. All I want you to be aware of is that mortgage insurance has options, and some of those options you and your buyers may not be aware of. So that's my mortgage minute, or 2 or 3 today. Interviewed Matt Lachenko last night for our CMA a Day challenge. We are in week 3 of the 13-week CMA a Day challenge. Matt crushed it, as you might expect. So if you have not seen it, go listen to Matt's video from last night. And if it's not too late to join the CMA a Day challenge, we have 13 weeks. You've got 10 left. And learning about how Matt is doing it is very interesting. He's taking it in a different perspective on it. So happy Tuesday, everyone.
Thanks, Tammy. Great stuff. Boy, I'm jealous. I missed Matt last night. I'll have to go back and watch that. And I can remember what, 15, 20 years ago, mortgage insurance was mortgage insurance. Now there's more options nowadays, right? So thank you for that explanation. That was great. Sorry about that. Great clarity, Tammy. Thank you. All right, guys. So a few announcements. So get your pens out, get your phones out. I'm going to make sure you're aware of everything that's going on. Today at 1 o'clock in this Zoom room, we have Mr. Len Schwartz from the Stanford ALC. He's going to be talking about nurturing your database. No one better than Mr. Len Schwartz to talk about that. Len has built a significant business just from his database. Last I heard, 350 in his database, and he has built a sizable business just from that. So be sure to tune in today at 1 o'clock. You will definitely have some great takeaways from that. Tomorrow at noon, the Profit Share team continues. So those of you who have been participating, thank you for being on board, and it'll continue tomorrow with Dan and I, Wednesday, tomorrow at noon. Next week, what's next week? Let me think for a minute. Next week is Mega Camp. So many of you are signed up. That is so awesome. And more have signed up this week. That's great. And I'm sure we will get more as well in the next few days. Again, just a little bit more about Mega Camp. It's basically Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock for sessions with Gary Keller, for all the breakout sessions, all that are amazing. And as well, we're going to be having our happy hour after each day at 5 o'clock till whenever. On Tuesday, we're going to be at the Spread in South Norwalk. And then on Wednesday at 5, we're going to be at the Reading Roadhouse. So look for more information. It's all coming your way. Some great graphics, great information about all that. And live streaming during the day in both the Ridgefield Market Center and the Stanford Market Center. We'll be doing the Gary Keller sessions, as well as several breakouts, different breakout sessions in each market center. So those of you who want to come in and be amongst your colleagues, we're going to be serving lunch. It's going to be great. Feel free to come in your mask if you're more comfortable, whatever, be there so we can all participate together in Mega Camp next week. That's that. So moving on to our spotlight. We have two very successful, and I say happy agents to talk to us today from the Stanford office. First, we're going to start with Margaret Kozlark. Margaret, are you with us? I think I saw you.
Yep, I'm here.
Hey, Margaret. So thanks for taking some time. I know you're an early bird up and going to the gym and carved out time to be with us today, so I appreciate that. So tell us, Margaret, you started with us as a part-time agent, and now you're a full-time agent. So tell us about that transition and what's going on in your world, because I'm hearing such great things about what you're doing right now.
Well, thanks so much. Yeah, I did start as a part-time agent, which I think really had its own challenges because, you know, I had a 9-to-5 job. So I didn't feel like I could really connect with a lot of the people in the office. A lot of it was kind of after hours things. But then I made the decision in January to sort of burn the boats, for anybody out there who knows Tony Robbins, so to speak. And I went in full time, and my business has doubled since last year. I'm having a banner year. And I think if I had any advice to give anybody, I would just say, you know, take action. KW is great. You can sit in a Zoom session all day and learn everything. But at the end of the day, you have to make a decision to do something. So the two things that I did that I think really helped propel my business was, one, I went all in with open houses. I mean, for months, I was probably doing anywhere from 2 to 3 open houses a weekend. And that really jump-started things. And I've had several sales directly from that, including the unicorn of having someone come into the open house and actually buy it, which I heard never happens. That was one thing. And then the second was for the month of June, made a goal for myself that, and I said it publicly, so then I'd have to do it, that I was going to do a video every day on Facebook. And so I did. And they were just little 1-minute tips. And I've already gotten 2 pieces of business just from that, from people I hadn't talked to in 20 years.
Tell us a little bit more about that. So you committed to do a video a day for 30 days.
Yeah. Which.
So what were your videos? What did you do?
Well, so first of all, I had so many people going, so was this a KW thing? Did they say you had to do this? I'm like, nope, I'm just kind of crazy. I decided to do it. So I wouldn't recommend this, but I had a plan in my head. Next time I'd probably write it down, but I just figured I'll do 10 sessions on sellers, 10 sessions on buyers, 10 miscellaneous. And I just sort of planned it organically, everything from decluttering to how to pick an agent to, you know, what's an escalation clause, just little snippets, because we know people don't have long attention spans, that they could just quick watch and then move on with their day.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I saw a bunch of them. I didn't see them all. I'll have to go back and see them all, Margaret, but they were extremely clever. So tell us about the business that came from that.
So my favorite story is that we all have these people that we really only talk to on Facebook. And I have a girl I went to school with. I probably haven't talked to her live, in like 20 years or so. And out of the blue, she IMs me. Oh my gosh, it seems like you're killing it. Because that's the beauty of this, right? Even if you're not, it's the perception that you are because you're out there. So, I've got this coworker whose daughter and son-in-law are looking for a house. Could you help them? Long story short, took them out a few times, got a $600,000 offer accepted, and now we're going to be closing next month.
Fantastic.
Just from videos.
Fantastic. So I have to tell, when's your next 30-day session going to start?
Well, so I've thought about that. And one thing I will say, I'm still trying to figure out Instagram, but I deliberately didn't put dates on it so that I could repurpose it and use it again.
Oh, perfect.
But I am going to do something. I just have to figure out what.
Cool. So I know you made a comment to me when we were chatting that your boyfriend said something to you. What did he say? And what else is attached to that? You've been doing something else on purpose.
I hope maybe the mindset. I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, your mindset, and that, a little bit about luck versus being on purpose.
Oh, yeah. So, so Steve reached out to me yesterday and asked me to talk. And I said to him, I don't even know why he's asking me. Like, I feel like I've just been really lucky. I've just kind of fallen into this. And he's like, are you kidding? You were like, I was never seeing you on the weekends. You were doing open houses every weekend. You did all those videos. It feels like luck, but you put the work in and now you're just feeling the benefits of it.
Absolutely. 1000%. 1000%. So also talk to us about open houses for you.
Oh my gosh. So I have so much I could say about open houses, but I'll say two things. One is, of course, you want to engage the people, you want to follow up with them. But one thing that I really did that I don't think enough agents think about is I really try to have good follow-up with the listing agent. Because at the end of the day, if they're entrusting me to care for their property and represent them, I follow up immediately. I have a whole report format I do with who came, agents' addresses and contact info, what the feedback was. Some of these people, they didn't know that the agent wasn't there. So I wanted to give them enough info that their seller could remain happily oblivious. And now they just come to me directly. I don't even have to really seek them out anymore.
Wow. So you were proactive and reached out to listing agents because you didn't maybe have listings at the time. You wanted to do open houses, right?
Yes. So that's a good point, Steve. So I always tell people, don't wait until the rare occasion where an agent will say, oh, does anybody, can anybody help me with an open house? And then it's like the swarm and everybody jumps on it. On a Monday or Tuesday, I would just look at all the listings for Ridgefield and Stamford, what my price point was, which was usually between like 4 and 8. And then I would just proactively reach out to the agents. Hey, I'd like to host an open house for you. Here's my credentials, who I am. I have my own signs. I've been here for 2 years, whatever. And then in the beginning, I was probably reaching out to 11 or 12 agents and about half of them wouldn't even respond. But then toward the end, I would only have to do 1 or 2. And then so many would respond, I double book. And then I had to kind of rearrange them. And those were the 4 open house weekends, which got a little hairy there for a while. So
wait a minute, you've done 4 open houses in a weekend?
Yeah, it was crazy. Amazing. It was like 2 11-to-1s and 2-to-4s. And I think I don't know if Adonis is here, but I think I did one for him 4 to 6 on a Sunday one time. Not a good time, by the way, to do. But you just got to squeeze it in wherever you can.
That is amazing action on purpose. That is now paying out for you, right?
It is.
I will say, because I've heard from some of these listing agents that you have made their lives better because you did their open houses and they look like rock stars with their clients.
Well, I really appreciate that a lot. And yeah, it definitely is. And the last thing I'll say is, even some of them I don't know if John Damaris is on this call, but I was on a call, something with Rick presenting, and out of the blue, I got a call from somebody who met me in October at a Ginger Zoo open house, $1 million cash buyer. And we just got an accepted offer for them just from an open house.
Fantastic. All right, Margaret, I hope you guys all took notes on that and ready to take action and be as on purpose as Margaret is being. She is on an amazing trajectory. So thank you for sharing with us today, Margaret.
Thanks for asking.
Great. All right, let's go to Silvia Santa Cruz. Silvia, I saw you. Where are you?
I'm unmuting.
All
Hi.
Right. Hey, how are you today?
Very good, thank you.
Good.
A little shocked.
Why?
Because a year ago, I wasn't, I'm just amazed that I've been called on to inspire when all these years I've been inspired by everybody else.
That's awesome. Well, you are inspirational. So tell us a little bit about your story. You started with KW, you were on a team, that was a while ago, and then you had to relocate and you kept your license here, but now you're back. Tell us more about all that.
Yeah, it's been a crazy ride. So I joined Keller Williams about 7 years ago. I was a team manager and also selling real estate on the Len Schwartz team.
Right.
And lucky me. And then as I was growing as an agent, it was just time for me to stop being a team manager and doing full-time sales. That was in 2017. But then my boyfriend turned fiance at the time got a job offer in Massachusetts.
Right.
So I was excited. I was excited for a change. So we moved to Massachusetts. And long story short, I was away for a couple of years. I was still trying to hang on to some business and refer business that was coming my way and hold on. I was literally sometimes driving from Massachusetts to Connecticut to still service my clients and retain clients, but it was really hard.
Yep.
So I did, lose business, but
Sure.
anyways, when did I move back? So June of last year, I decided to move
in the middle of the pandemic. You moved
in
back.
the middle of the
Yeah.
pandemic. I decided I was laid off. It's a crazy story. I was laid off from a job I took up there. So I was just not in the best place early 2020. Pandemic happened and just my heart and FOMO was calling me back to Connecticut. Real estate was doing great here. And so I just thought it was the right time to come back home. And just total blind faith. I knew I had to ramp up business and remind people that Silvia's back. So it was kind of scary, but I had to get back to basics. And
what does that mean, Silvia? What does that mean?
Yeah, I had to make a lot of care calls, hot buys. Thankfully, I learned a lot by Len, and I really encourage everyone taking the 1 o'clock class today because I still use a lot of the skills that I gained while being on the team. I do pop buys. I enjoy, I have fun coming up with pop buys. So this is going to be my pop buy this month. So it says, know someone that's got an itch to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. I'm the relief they need.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Cheesy, but yeah, so I'm giving them a bug zapper with it. But it was my job to just be in their face, and social media helped a lot. I was consistent with social media. So yeah.
Yeah, so you dove back in, right? I mean, you had to, you needed to, and you went, had those strategies. And I will say that Silvia capped. She capped her first time back, year back, full swing. She capped, so she is a rock star. And I know, what are you projecting for your goals going forward, Silvia?
Honestly, I hadn't really been keeping track of my numbers.
As many agents do.
When you asked me to be on the call, I had to just see what kind of production I was having, I guess. So I closed 5 homes last month, 5 homes. I think I'm on track to close 5 this month.
That's fantastic.
It's crazy. I guess, I don't know. My projections are, do you mean like volume or volume goals?
Whatever you think. Where's next year going to bring you?
I didn't think I was going to have the numbers that I have now. So I guess it's kind of scary to think of what my next goal will be because it's a number I never thought I always knew I had it in me, but I don't know.
Yeah, I will say about your business, because a lot of your business has been your sphere, right? And the way Len does business from your database and past clients. So just extending out from that just a little bit, Silvia, is going to bring you so much more business, right?
I know.
So go ahead.
I got busy, so I did fall off of the care calls and the pop-by visits for between May and now. But now, with it slowing down a little bit, I'm going to get back into that so that, I can keep the momentum up.
Right. I think it's almost time for a little leverage for you too. A little help, some way to help you do things that you may not get. This is all
so new for me. I've always been the leverage.
Yeah, there you go. I love that. Well, I think you're going to have an amazing, amazing year coming ahead of you. And I can't wait to sit down and help you with that.
Thank you. It's been a great year.
Yeah. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So great stuff, guys. Inspiring stories. I think we're moving on to Marty Miller, Mr. Adonis. What are we up to? Marty, number what?
Number 52. What an inspiring day indeed. So very, very happy to hear all this good stuff. Smiling faces. I see you, Margaret. So today we're going to be talking about creating and sending a direct mail campaign to contacts or closest homes. Let's continue with our campaign theme.
Good morning, Keller Williams, and welcome back to the KW Command 66-Day Challenge 5.0, and today is day 52. So for the last couple of days, we've been focused on the campaigns applet, and today is no different. We're going to dive into campaigns, and I'm going to show you how to send out a direct mail campaign. So let's do that by clicking on the megaphone applet for the campaigns, the megaphone icon, excuse me, for the campaigns applet. And actually, before we do that, because we're going to get into direct mail, and I'd like to use one of the designs that we actually created when we were going through designs, and that was on day 46. We created a just listed postcard. Let's use that inside our direct mail campaign, and before we do, we need to download it. So let's quickly transition over to designs, again, the paintbrush icon there. We're going to find that postcard that we created, and here is that postcard, so I can see that. Just kind of a note, when we named this, I named it Just Listed PC, but because the street name was there, PC didn't show up. So maybe a best practice, put like postcard and then, or PC and then the address, so it's easily showing up. But we're going to go ahead and click to open that postcard. And we need to download it in order to use it for our direct mail campaign. So there is a little bit of nuance or kind of some additional instructions. It's not quite as simple as just downloading it. We want to click on download. And the first thing we want to make sure is that we have PDF for printing selected. Sometimes you'll see it defaults to JPEG. We want to make sure that we have PDF for printing selected. The next thing we've got to make sure is that we have the include bleed check mark checked. All right, so that's the second step. And then finally, we need to make sure that we have just the front or just the back. We need to download this twice, the front separated from the back. So I'm going to click on download so that we get page 1 downloaded. Here's another pro tip. Just a heads up, you'll see there at the top of the screen it said preparing and then downloading and then download complete. Make sure that you don't click on done or go to home or whatever until that download actually shows up. If you're in the middle of preparing it, it will not download unless you let it go all the way through the process. So we've got the front page. Now we want to do the back page, page 2. So PDF for printing, include bleed, manual bleed of 0.125. Make sure that that's the same. And now we're going to go into page 2 and uncheck page 1 and click on download. And again, here at the top, if you didn't see it the first time where it says preparing, I want to make sure that I don't exit out of this actual design until it has been fully downloaded. So you can see down here at the bottom, it's now downloaded. So let's click on done. That's going to take us out of designs, and we're now going to want to go into campaigns, the megaphone icon. So we'll go into campaigns, and again, just like with all things, you already know this, to create a new one, we'll click on create campaign and direct mail. We'll put in the campaign name, so this was 2607 Morgan Fair Lane, and this is just listed, and I might put 200 closest. That way I know exactly who these postcards were going to. I want to advertise this listing. Again, I could be looking to attract buyers, attract more listings, you know, kind of pick what you think is best here. But we're going to go into create campaign. Now that we're inside the campaign, I do have the ability to select the listing. So let's go all listings, 2607 Morgan Fair, and we can select that listing. So you can see the listing has been selected. Next, we've got the content. So you can see down here, it's already brought in the content on the actual, from the listing. One thing to note, it does say 62 bath, that should be 6.2, right? So that's just something we would want to keep a heads up for. But since we have our custom design, we don't necessarily need to use the default from Real Mailers. So let's switch over to upload a custom template. And now you can see it's going to tell you what kind of size, style, file size that the postcard should be. And the one that we have downloaded is available. So I'm going to click on Browse. And here is my front. I know that that was the first one I downloaded, so we've got that. and it's going to browse for that file, find it. There's the front of the postcard. Now I can go into browse for the back, and the second one we downloaded was the back. So we'll click on open, and that should pull up the back. So now we've got the front and the back loaded. I can click on save, and now my content has a check mark. Next, you've got Market Center. So this is being pulled in from your marketing profile. However, you're just going to need to verify the address each time. So I'm going to go in, yep, that's correct. Let's verify that, confirm. Now I've got a check mark next to Market Center. With regards to targeting, you do have a couple of options. So because I selected this listing when I originally started this campaign, it put in the street address and assumed that I wanted to do local targeting. However, I do have the ability, should I choose to target my database as well. So if you have a group of people inside of your database that you want to target, you can do that by adding contacts and then coming in and selecting specific contacts. They have to have a mailing address. Otherwise, you're going to see this triangle. You can also come in and select a specific tag. So maybe there's, I want to send out an invite to all of my Aggie fans for a tailgate. And so I would choose Aggie fan, and then I could get contacts. That was just a fake tag. But that's how you would actually put in the target for your database. But we told you earlier we're going to do the 200 closest homes, so we're going to do local targeting. And you can see that actually the default is the 200 closest. However, you can change this to whatever number you want. And you can see that the postcards will cost 59 cents. That's a 4x6 full color glossy front and back with the actual postage. And the price per card down here includes printing, distribution, and postage. So let's save that, and then we're going to come up to configure targeting, and that's going to take us over to real mailers, where we'll be able to see what those 200 closest homes are. And we can do some additional filtering or manipulation inside of real mailers. So since we selected the 200 closest homes, you're going to see it put dots on the 200 closest homes, right? So you've got all of those down here dotted out, ready to go. It looks like it didn't like the address that we put in. So let's try that one more time. 2607 Morgan Fair Lane, Katy, and see if we can find it. So it's not pulling that up. So sometimes, right, you got to make sure that the Google address is actually there. Was it 2507? Am I putting in the wrong address? Oh, maybe not. Let's put in an address that we know exists, right? So here's a good example of when you have the address corrected, you can come in, and I'll have to look up Morgan Fair and see why that's not pulling. But here's an example, right? So we put in an address, and it's pulling the 200 closest homes as marked by a circle. The blue dot represents those homes, right? So I know this neighborhood well, and let's say, you know, I know that this boundary right here is actually the northern boundary of the neighborhood, and this is a different neighborhood that maybe I'm not farming. However, this all up here is still part of the neighborhood that I would like to farm. These two houses are not. You actually do have the ability to draw a polygon around the neighborhood that you want, so that you can say, hey, I only want this area, right? So we're going to do the polygon. You'll see you get this little cross sign, and each time you click, it drops an anchor. So click, and let's go all the way back to Deer Meadow, click, and then I'm going to come all the way across to Avenue D, click, and then up, click. And so you can see now, these are all of the homes inside of, in this case, Fawn Lake. It tells me that this is 237 homes, and what my approximate cost would be, $139.83. So I can also do some filters here on the side. If you look, you've got options to kind of limit by number of bedrooms, square footage, year built, etc. Be real careful here. This is driven by tax records, and sometimes it's not always correct. But when I click on next, that's then going to take me into the final payment and preview screen. So it's going to tell me what my total cost will be. you can see that it's same day processing as long as I get the order in by 3 p.m. on a business day. It takes about 2 days to get into the stream, right, to the USPS mail stream, and then another 4 to 6 business days. So I usually say it's probably somewhere in that range of 7 to 10 business days before these postcards show up. I can one last time preview the postcard to make sure that they look good. I can view a larger preview if I'd like. It takes me in, right? I can kind of zoom in if I need to, make sure everything looks really good, and then I would put in my email, credit card number, expiration, and security code, and make a payment. You will get an email when the postcards have been sent out. So just kind of a heads up, it's a nice thing from real mailers. They'll let you know once the postcards have been sent. Once you have completed this campaign, you will see in your direct mail home screen, right? So here's a draft, but here are campaigns that I've actually mailed out, Farming My Neighborhood. And so it'll show you when the date was created, when it was sent, if you have a QR code on there, how many leads might have come in, and then how many total recipients were a part of that campaign. If for any reason you save it as a draft like we just did and you want to come in and edit it to start it, you can. You can also duplicate the campaign, or if you were just kind of playing around, you can archive it to get it off your list as well. That's it for today, guys, kind of showing you how to download a postcard design in order to use it inside of a direct mail campaign.
Right. So that was amazing, right? So we learned a lot. We learned everything there is to learn today, I think. So more Marty will continue tomorrow. Hope you all have a good day, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye, Eric, Debbie, Steve, Nicole.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good day.